Well, it's back and it's coming soon to PC. Hello again there, friends and fans, to a city kingdom builder with defenses, military, and more, known as Going Medieval. We've taken a look at this game a while ago, and now the beta build has been updated as the developers are getting ready to release it into early access sometime soon, so make sure you add it to your wish list on Steam by searching for, what's the name of this game? Going Medieval, of course. You'd know that by the splash screen. I love the wonderful little menu title. I love the flickering fire and the grass blowing in the background. It's very wholesome. It reminds me a lot, by the way, of games like RimWorld and also a little bit of Stronghold and maybe games like Hearthstone and another game I think called Becastled, I believe. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Good to see you all here for our first look at what's new with the beta build. Let's go ahead and jump into a new game here. And wow, that's already new off the start. We have a standard, a peaceful, and a survival mode. The differences look like, for example, the standard mode is kind of just your basic, sometimes peaceful, sometimes attacks. Peaceful is nothing but peace, and survival is absolute difficulty based on enemy raids happening frequently, as well as a way to even modify that further, which is really nice. So I guess for today's purposes, let's just go into very easy. Hopefully that lets it so that way we can get a bunch of materials or something and see as much in this game in the shortest amount of time possible. Love the art style, by the way, for the different scenarios. Looks like it doesn't change anything else other than what's listed below. So we'll go ahead and jump into this little starting conditions screen, which I think I remember from before. Oh yes, it does allow you to get a different starting package or make your own. Very cool. You can start your own conditions for beginning your scenario and also adding a little narrative. So if you want to make your own scenario, I bet there'll be a way in the workshop on Steam to be able to download other scenarios and make them more interesting based off of certain conditions. Well, we'll start with a new life. Each settler has a story about the past they left far behind, but now this tattered group has a common goal to build a new home together. All right, looks like we're starting with a lot of different materials, so we'll try to get as far as we can in our limited time. And this looks really cool. Wow, there's been some great steps forward. I'm impressed with this. A lot of this stuff was just not even here at all, and I never even knew to expect that. Looks like we can name our kingdom. I guess we'll go ahead and call this one, I don't know, we usually don't name anything on the channel, so let's go with RAPTORIA. Glory to RAPTORIA down below in that comment section if you've watched this far. Let's jump into maybe a valley of a default size. Let's go with a random number like 8675309. There we go. That seems wonderful. Really gorgeous. Oh, and it looks like we can actually choose where we want to build within that region, too. I like that. All right, let's jump into our scenario. Hopefully, it looks like we can make it bigger if we want, but we'll just go with this for now. And, oh, it'll also look like we can design our heraldry if we want to as well, but we'll just go with that. That almost looks like a dog instead of like a lion or something. Looks like we got the ability to also change our people if we want to. Let's see, we can randomize anything about these characters, including their skills in combat, medicine, botany, carpentry, etc. And we can also change little stats about them, like, for example, the fact that they are a Lord of Misrule, or that they are vigorous, or maybe here, vigorous, or a punch-drunk person. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and mix it up just a little bit more, and we'll go ahead and do that again. Let's go with somebody who, let's go with a tall person, and then, yep, that seems fine with me. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our scenario now. Oh, a summary. Oh, okay, this is just going through everything that we've done. We'll embark now, showing tutorial tips. All right, I like that. The fact that you can customize your people, your kingdom, your logo, your starting position, everything's modifiable and then procedurally generated. A new life. The plague has ravaged the British Isles, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Untold millions went into an early grave, and those left standing were plunged into poverty, brutally scarred by the horrors that they had witnessed. Nothing would ever be the same again. Go on and read further if you'd like to about the more details, but of course we are now naming our homeland RAPTORIA. Now, at this point, by the way, about, let's see, 60% of the people who watch the channel, I'm looking here at 62.9% of the people aren't even subbed. So if you want to see city builder games, combat games, RTS games, new games, and free games, make sure you do subscribe and jump on the Discord down below because we do daily free giveaways for our members and for non-members as well. If you'd like to become a member, smash that join button down below and smash like if you'd like to see a full playthrough of Going Medieval when it comes out sometime soon. Please bear in mind that this game is under heavy development. That means that the game will have some bugs and unfinished systems. Look at that gorgeous flying bridge above the large, what I would assume to be like, well, actually it looks like to be several houses in one. Look like an industrial area down there with a house on top. That's gorgeous. That is absolutely impressive. Of course, my friend Uthris, who is a very talented builder, will certainly be hard at work at this one, doing a lot of the same things. Oh, and there we go. We have world layers. So similar to like The Sims, you can build a house with multiple layers and see those floors as you go up and down. Looks like there's game controls for speed, and we can always come back here at any time. Let's get a feel for the game. Some of the things look new, and some of the things look fresh and redesigned. And also some things are old, good old-fashioned things like hay piles and whatnot. Right, so this is the type of game where we don't necessarily command our people. We kind of give orders for anybody to do. So, example being, we can cut down plants. So we can tell our people to go over here to gather hay for rooftops, or we can gather wood to make buildings. So we'll go ahead and do some of that right now. Looks like there's gold over here. Wow, it's a clay pile. Nice. Looks like we can gather clay. Let's take a look around the map. So this is where we can build defenses. We can build a giant wall around a castle, or build like a large wall to separate two sections of the map, or whatever we'd like to do. I think there's also regions with water, but I haven't seen that quite yet. Hopefully ships and naval combat come to the game soon. It might be there, but of course this is just kind of a first quick look at what we have that's new. And man, feels great to be back into the game. I missed it, and I'm happy to see it yet again. With the ability to put tools and things around. We've taken a look at a few games that are similar to this too, and yeah, it definitely reminds me of games like RimWorld and some of the other ones that we played, where essentially you spawn, all your stuff's on the ground, and you have to put everything into storage. And there's a few games like that where you're from space, or that you're a group of survivors. Even this is a group of survivors, but mostly building a kind of a kingdom in somewhat of a post-apocalyptic world, but more like the world that hasn't even really begun yet. There's just still too much disease and whatnot. All right, well, let's go ahead and tell our people to harvest some things. Let's see if we can get some food going around here. There might be some food around. Oh, I see an apple tree here. Are those apples on the ground? No, it's leaves. Oh, darn. Well, let's see if there's food to gather. We can tell our people to possibly harvest. I don't know if that's the same, but it looks like there are mushrooms here, so let's go ahead and go with that. We'll cancel those if we can. Nah, we'll need all that stuff for building houses. Well, let's take a look at what we can build with. All sorts of things made out of wood. I'm sure we can use stone, too. We have butchering tables. Let's start with a basic campfire outside. We'll build that maybe somewhere over, maybe over here. Just out in front. There we go, and someone will get cracking on that very soon. Looks like we can build different types of traps and different types of, oh wow, graves and pyres and fences in order to separate maybe farmland. There's also different types of shrines and tables that we can build inside the rooms that eventually we can construct too. So let's go ahead and get cracking on that one as well. Let's go ahead and make a simple room, maybe maybe we'll do like a 8x8. Seems very large, but once we put beds inside and some also maybe chests and storage areas, it's going to go quite quickly. Let's go ahead and connect all those together. I'm going to leave a little gap. I'm not sure how doors work. Some games you have to build a door between spaces. Other games you build a wall and then build a door into that wall. You know how it is. Alright, well, let's go with this, and then we'll have to have an odd door, but what we can do is put a window next to it to make it look nice. Let's see if we can actually put down a door. I'm curious to see. Wooden door there. And we can also put down a window. Oh, we can actually rotate it to show how exactly the door will open. So you can see where it'll open and close like that. Interesting. Put a door there, and we'll put a window in as well. And maybe one in the back, or maybe two in the back like that. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and make sure we've got enough wood. We'll give the order to continuously cut down trees. We'll back those away from our kingdom a little bit. We'll leave some of them. We don't want to clear cut everything, but we certainly do want to get enough materials to start our kingdom. And our little fire out front should do nicely. Alright, what else can we build out of? So limestone and clay are other materials that we have to build with, so we can do walls out of that. Looks like most furniture is made out of wood for being lightweight. We can also zone things, so we can make an area for stockpiling if we want to. So let's go ahead and do that. We can actually make a little, if we don't have a window here, we could probably do like a little shack onto the side of the house where people can walk outside and then get stuff that's kind of attached to the building. We'll make a separate building though, and we'll do kind of maybe a small, let's do like a, actually it's going to have to rather be large. There we go. Let's go with an 8x8 there too. And there we go. Fit for a king. It looks like we've completed our first house or some sort of achievement along those lines. Very nice. What else do we have going on? We can assign jobs. And so more details about their hours and priority, I assume. Mini games have this. If you've seen Space Haven before on the channel, if you want something more in the space genre, that would definitely be similar to this too. But I already admire the fact that we can build things so easily. So essentially we can give each person an order to do certain jobs or don't do them at all, and then to prioritize those jobs over others. So if somebody's a maybe a furniture maker and they also cut down trees, maybe you want them to cut down more trees to prepare firewood and do a little less work on the furniture. Looks like we can do research as soon as we construct something in order to do that. The research bench. And there's our scheduling too. So yes, just like the other screen that you saw. This is a little different. Gives time for work, sleep, anything, and leisure. So most of this is anything. But we can do that, and we'll make do with that later. Let's go ahead and try to maybe make a floor. Looks like we have a wooden floor that we can lay down too, so we'll lay that down. And we'll also see if we can make some bedding at some point. I'm sure that maybe basic beds require just hay. I can remember some of this about the basic works of the game. Under furniture, we have tables. And let's see. Ah, hay sleeping spot. There we go. Hay is sleeping spot. All right, perfect. Well, good. Let's go ahead and put these in the back of the room then. We'll do 1, 2, 3 here. And then we'll leave some room for other furniture or chests to store items. We can also make multi-floors, so if we want to build up, we can. I believe there's also the ability to mine down. I think we can actually find an area where there's iron ore or coal or something along those lines and dig down into it, and also make cellars and basements. And as you saw during some of those intro screens, it looks like you're able to build a foundation and build on top of that. So we could build, for example, a wooden keep on top of a stone base, and then put something in the stone base like storage, and then have a main living quarters on top of that, so that people can go down into their place of work. Let's go ahead and gather some more mushrooms. I certainly don't want anybody to starve. We'll make that a priority. And I think we'll also need to make something at the actual cooking area here. So to start producing something, select a workstation and add a product from the product list. Set a number of products you want your settlers to make. So if you were to picture the campfire as maybe like a wooden workbench or maybe a stone carving bench, that's where we can make different types of tools and things out of stone, like for example maybe a stone knife or a flint knife, or under wood perhaps we can make a chair there, although it seems to be under a different build menu. But you get the idea. We can meld different types of workshops together into one large building. So we can make a workshop on top of the house, where maybe we can make a side entrance and have like a wood workshop up at top that'll make a bow and arrow, like a Fletcher, or somebody who can make a bow, arrows and crossbows and things like that. Alright, well, what do we have going on over here? Looks like there's orders to not gather any of that stuff. Looks like some of it's further away. If this is clay, then that means that this is limestone, and it's forbidden to go that far. Now, there are times where people will come into our little village, so we need to be careful. They may try to attack us or try to trade or make demands. Like, for example, you have 3 days to give us all your food. Otherwise, we're going to attack and take it, that type of thing. We can also build our very own defenses. So we have a building in the middle that could be a manor, and then we could build a large wall around that with maybe towers in each corner and then a gatehouse too. But of course, with 3 people, it starts out slow. Eventually, people will come to our city, and the more things that we provide, the better it'll be. There is so much to cover in this game. Don't be overwhelmed, and we won't be able to cover everything. So please feel free to remind me of anything that we may have forgotten to go over, or give some helpful hints for anybody getting started, including myself. We have mechanical components, chronicles, which I believe we have to study in order, yes, to create knowledge at the bottom. I can recall that from before. Let's see if we can get cracking on that. I think we first need to build a research table and a butchering table. So we can start then with hunting. As soon as we're done with the berry and mushroom gathering, we can start with that. The chronicle is basically just a table to read things. So right now it's just basically a large bedroom that we're making. And it looks like everybody's out doing all sorts of gathering. Good job, team. Looks like they're gathering everything into piles, and then we can store it a little bit later. We might actually have to designate some things here. Yes, everything can basically be put here. So eventually, we can make storehouses for all raw materials, processed goods, food, and uncooked food, or perhaps something for the farm, like, for example, all the wheat that could be gathered before it's turned into straw, and flour, if we make a windmill, and then put that flour into a bakery, and we can have designated areas for everything. So if you want to get nice and organized, that is super appealing. Love the sound effects. The animations are fantastic. Love the art style, too, of the kind of the minimalistic characters. We've seen a lot of this in games like Foundation, which is another highly recommended game. If you love Foundation, but you want something a little more complex but not overwhelming, I think this is a good step forward in the right direction, with elements of games, again, like Space Haven and also RimWorld, and maybe a little Prison Architect in here, too, if you like that top-down building where you're designing rooms, you know, the Architect games, and there's a little bit of that in here as well. And I just love it. I am surprised that this has kind of been behind closed doors again after we took a first look again, and it just looks gorgeous. I thought they did a fantastic job the first time, but the developers' attention to detail and quality control is quite nice. Usually games kind of go into a preview mode, then a beta, and then they kind of try to make steps forward over time with feedback from the community. But of course, with the invention of Discord and with people saying, hey, are you going to do this, or hey, you should do that, or oh, I've noticed this, the developers in real time can make changes, tweaks, or improvements to their games. So it's really nice to know that gamers have much more of a ability to improve games than they've ever had before. We don't have to wait for a game to come out and have a patch and then also have expansion packs and such. We can affect it in real time before it launches, which is great because that means more people can find these types of games and be happier with their existence. Looks like we have a table here ready to go. Maybe we should do some research. Ah, yes, we can unlock new buildings. So everything that we've seen so far is not what's yet in the game. There's much more to research and unlock. So there is quite a bit of research to do here. That is an extensive research tree, I must say. We'll start with architecture then, and we'll try to do, we can go down tailoring or clay brick making, so we can immediately start by building out of different materials that might be more fireproof and more resistant to damage, perhaps. We can also then do smelting, which means we can gather iron and start smelting that down, or copper and tin and make bronze, or possibly just copper or tin itself, which wouldn't be great, but at least it'd be a start. Well, speaking of start, let's go ahead and start with architecture, and we'll go ahead and unlock that with our knowledge. Now, I'm not exactly sure how we get knowledge. We'll have to find that out over time. But we can see all the other kingdoms that have settled next to us. A lot of these are friendly. Some of these are bandits. So we'll need to work together to trade with these other nations or these other settlements in RAPTORIA. And then we'll have to try to eliminate the bandits or mitigate them attacking us. Looks like there's 3 of them here. We have Hemp's Hill, Middlewich, and Stagenhoe. These are fantastic names. These are really cool. I like that. It'd be really cool if you could see the bandits moving across the map if they were going to attack. I don't know if that's a thing that happens, but I'd love to see that. All right, let's see. Have we got anyone assigned, by the way, to this? We should probably put somebody on jobs. Let's have... Who's got our biggest big brain? I'm not exactly sure. Is there a way to check their stats quickly? Oh, yes. So we want somebody who's an intellectual on this, I think. We have a 5 intellectual. We have a 3. We have a 7. So, Mirabelle, you are on research. Let's go ahead and put you on, what would it be, knowledge. Let's see, hauling, research. There we are. Let's go ahead and make that your number 1 priority. How do we make that number 1? So we put a number 1 there. That's your top priority. And then other ones, we'll go ahead and put them down to 5. Or I think we can just turn them off in general, yes. So let's go ahead and have her researching full time. And let's get everything sorted out for other jobs when she's not doing this. There are times where we probably won't be able to research something due to lack of materials. And it looks like we're auto-saving. Ah, the first day. That was only a day. Wow, within 1 day, our people got a house up, windows, doors, and we're able to gather a bunch of food. We'll have to then make sure that we do a little bit of cooking now. So let's actually put her on cooking as well. We'll have her reading books and making meals. She'll be our smart, like a mom, basically. Stay-at-home mom. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and zero this out. Now, is there a way to just bring this to 0? I'm not sure. Let's see who's got the better cooking skills as well. How's her cooking? Let's see. Culinary is 20. Whoa, that's really amazing. Wow. We've got a gourmet chef. That's great. Let's go ahead and make cooking number 1, which I already did. I think I had food on the mind. That's why I left that as number 1. All right, we'll leave that as number 1. And then we'll leave the other 2 off. There we go. That should do it. And then is there a button to copy? Oh, we can copy. So if we want to give her an assistant chef or maybe a lab assistant, that's the way to do that. Uh-oh. Did something happen? I heard an alert. Okay, it looks like she's idle for now. So let's go ahead and make sure that she's reading. Oh, we need to also make sure we have research ready to go. So requirements, none. Unlocks wooden beams. And if that research takes nothing... Let's see. Intellectual skills, 0 required. It's a research job. Let's make sure Mirabelle is doing that. Or cooking meals. I think we need to put some stuff in the queue, though. So what could we put in the campfire? Description, info, fire for light, warmth, and cooking. Gather around and bring a story. Oh, very nice. Wonder if there's a way for us to manage meals at the camp. We do have a few people assigned to that. Some of these are still glowing. Wonder what that means differently. You'll have to let me know if you know. Jobs set to the same priority level will be prioritized left to right. So if you have, let's see, hunting and hauling at the same level, they'll do the same at the equal priority. So long as it's to the left. Oh, good. Mirabelle's actually gathering stuff here. Looks like she's... Oh, is she eating or is she getting ready to cook food? Let's see here. Oh, yeah, everybody's grabbing a snack. All right. Well, we'll work on the research a little bit later. Let's continue to designate where we want things to go. We still have plenty of wood here. That's great. Eventually, winter will come around, and we'll need to prepare for that. Oh, and we have somebody gathering all the stuff we need to put into storage, so everybody's working on that. Fantastic. Glory to Raptoria. Deconstruct and copy, description, and stats. Let's go ahead and maybe give some more orders for things. Is there was a way in order to order. There's our different layers. Historical records, almanacs, and bugs. And let's see what else we want. Hunting, we could also assign a hunting ground. Let's go ahead and assign anything around us that we can hunt. There we go. There may be some food around for us to hunt. Oh, it looks like he's still bringing back food. Fantastic. What a worker. Hauling the stockpile. Gwen is idle. Gwen, we need you to get going on some stuff here. What is that? Just a random thing out here? Oh, looks like we can gather bones as well. Forbidden. Probably due to the fact that it's far away. Let's build another building for storage. Let's keep everything dry. We also, have the ability to build a thatched roof. So we will need to put that onto our building. There we go. And so someone can get cracking on grabbing all that thatch. Let's go ahead and harvest the rest of that straw. Reed, hay, anything else they can find. And get working on that. Alright, we don't want anybody sitting around on research. I've forgotten kind of how to do this now. We need 15... I forget exactly what it is. There's books or scrolls. I forget exactly. Packaged meal piles. Okay, that'll last for quite some time. Let's go ahead and give Mirabelle some other jobs too. We can also give them weapons. We can make a weapon room and then assign them weapons and shields. So if we want one person to be designated as a guard all the time, we can then assign them a sword, a shield, and then maybe some different type of armor or food that they're supposed to have all the time, which is good. Let's see if we can have Mirabelle maybe assign something. Let's go ahead and assign some more jobs for everyone. I'm going to go ahead and try to make these level 2 jobs. And we want you to be immediately on research for us. And it looks like Mirabelle's finally working on it. I saw her doing a little bit of research, it looked like. She was turning some books. There should be a way to look inside that building as well. Get everything assigned back to... I guess if we make everything 5, she'll do whatever's first and then do everything left to right, so long as there is a job for that to do. So a little construction, a little hunting, all that stuff will be good. There goes our people gathering the rest of those reeds. So that means the thatch roof will be installed shortly. And there we go. And she's got some tailoring skills too. We can also hold shift to do it for everyone, so that's a great thing. All right. Hunter lacks ranged weapons. Yeah. If you can't hunt, then we'll have to do something else. We should make a new... oh, look at that. The window can open and close. The shutters are closed on that. That's neat. Look at that. We have 15 layers that we can go up and down. That's crazy. We hold control and mouse wheel. We should be able to flip those up and down. But let's go down to layer 1. So we can have like 13 floors in this game and go into some subfloors. So we can build a mine and actually dig down into it and store things underground. So we can have cellars. That's pretty unique. All right, now we have our building up here. This is constructed, correct? Yes, queue process. And let's see. We've got research that we can order, so we have to click that. Ah, that's how to do it. And then we can order it this way. So waiting for work order. I don't know, produce, what was it, 25 of those? There we go. So we can do the same at the fire. Ah, yes, we need to make meals. I was looking for specific things like roasted mushrooms. I'm hungry. You can't blame me for that now. All right, we'll do 25 meals. This probably will make, yeah, just basic meals out of any of the foods nearby. So when she's not reading, she can be cooking, whatever she feels like doing. Both jobs need to get done. So research is now underway, giving us wooden beams soon, and that'll allow us to build better buildings and eventually weapons and such as we can build those benches. We'll have to start hunting shortly, so we may as well also try... Oh, there you go. Research complete, it seems. Or at least underway. Let's also do ourselves the butchering table. We'll put that inside. Probably not as pleasant, but right now it's like a cozy little cabin, and eventually everything will expand. Right now we just probably should have a giant resource pile, so first gather all resources, then 2, start building things. And we'll need homes eventually from new people as soon as they come into our village. Once they've discovered everything. I must say, I really like it. Alright, what else do we have around here? Let's go back up and check out the house. So really, in this type of game, I found it the best to start with just a small little cabin to get everything and everyone stored. That's important. Store all your resources outside and then eventually put a wall around it. You kind of do things like this, like in Banished, or if you've played Austria before, you start with kind of some basic structures just to get everyone housed, and then you start prioritizing the next thing, which would be expansion of your settlement by also doing things like hunting and preparing a hunter shack and keeping everything separate. The more smaller buildings you have, the cooler it looks, but you don't have to do that. Just like a little tutorial village building showed you, you can stack multiple things on top of each other and kind of have like a large skyscraper made out of wood that has all sorts of military units in it and defenses around it, and then of course your more important buildings and the people more importantly at the top. Looks like we made ash. Uh-oh, did you have an accident, ma'am, with the cooking? I'm not mad, I'm just severely disappointed. Let's go ahead and cancel the stuff here. There we go. Oh, this is looking great, man. I really like the style of this. These mushrooms remind me of how everything looked in the game. I also kind of like how the world looks different than the things we can interact with. You know what I mean? Like the mushrooms kind of look like they belong in among trees, that game. But then the ground kind of looks really like it's something out of maybe a different game, like a top-down third-person game of some sort. So that's kind of neat. Looks like we're also starting, maybe we could start some farms. Looks like we're unlocking achievements left and right, but it's not fast enough. We need more. We need much more. All right, let's see if we can, oh, she's still working. Look at that. She's doing some work. I can see her turning pages in there. Get to it, ma'am. Unlock that research. Oh, yeah. We're doing it, I think. Oh, yeah, there we go. Available 11, allocated 15. So it looks like we're almost there. She's making... I don't remember if they have to make the research. I forget how it works. It's a different system, but it's somewhat understandable once you get going along the way. Well, we'll need... oh, looks like we have weapons that we can assign. So we have a sturdy wooden spear, a short sword, and a wooden buckler. So if somebody attacks us, we can immediately have that done. Let's go ahead and get... let's see... Pentecost. We'll get him going. And we'll assign him some weapons. Let's go ahead and manage him. So we can go ahead and assign him the melee one-handed. We'll assign him a shield. And any sort of headgear and anything else. We'll make him our soldier. Anything that you have, go right ahead. Oh, we can also change their diet if we want to. Oh, wow, we can make cannibals in this game? Alright, someone's going to have to timestamp that. That's impressive. You can actually make your people cannibalize other people. I think when people do come into your camp, you do have the choice of eating them if you want to, which is a weird option. It's like, welcome to our camp, or no, not at this time, or literally eat them. Like that, those are the options. Times are desperate. That is desperate. I think the way it works is someone will pop in from off the map, or you'll see like a little camp, and then you can go and talk to them. And then once you do that, you can invite them in and build a bed for them, or eat them. As I mentioned, you can get a big old pot and tell them to sleep in it while you're filling it with water and potatoes and everything else. Alright, everybody's doing a good job. I love the nature of this game, too. Some of them are trees, some of them are branches. I believe there's also seasons in this game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's a beautiful system on this one. And a screenshot mode, too. There's so many little features, and we can't even scratch the surface, even if I did a more in-depth look on this one. That's impressive at how much is available here. Is she mad about the ingredients? I think she's eating the fruits of her labor right away. Actually, she seems to be making good meals here. I see what seems to be a soup and maybe bread and potatoes and other things. Good. Very good. All right, let's try to build a little shack under the back of the house. I just want to try to build something that looks nice. Can't build a kingdom with just 3 people. We'll build it over here. But we can eventually work up to it, and it's kind of a balancing of difficulty that way. It starts out kind of difficult to manage things because there's lots of jobs to do and not a lot of people to do them. But I think these are the types of games where one's in chat down below or let me know if you've played Banished the first time and you just died right away. Like you ran out of firewood, you didn't realize the value of food, or you put all your money into like fishing but didn't realize that you could also gather at the same time, and though maybe you could do a fishing dock, it's probably a good idea to diversify your foods, and rather than putting everything into one thing, it's good to kind of spread out and try to do a little bit of everything just in case there's some sort of a disaster. Livestock, mushrooms, gathering, that type of thing. All important. Fish. I'd love to see that in this game, too. It looks like we can also assign land for hunting, but right now I don't think we have anybody who can butcher yet. There is a bow around here? Yeah, there's a sturdy longbow. So whoever's our good hunter, we can take a look at their skills again. And let's find out who our best hunter is. Let's see. Oh, it looks like somebody reached construction skill level 2. That's another thing as well, is that skills can get better over time by doing them. That's an important thing. Construction skill number 10 for Gwen. Animal hunting is handling is 15. That must also include hunting. Pentecost is 1. Oh, yeah. So Gwen's definitely going to be our hunter. Let's go ahead and give them a higher priority on that. And we'll also assign them some food. So Gwen it was. Go ahead and get a ranged weapon. There we go. She can be our Legolas. Fantastic. All right. Very good. Lots of variety of things to gather. There's berry bushes everywhere. There's so many things to gather and do, and customization options. And it's going to be kind of a cool game to maybe play for the first time on peaceful, and then halfway through, you know, quit and be like, all right, I'm ready for a real challenge. I got my legs under me. And then you start taking out. Oh, my God, what are those? They're attacking? Oh, boy. All units, we have an enemy attack. Oh, my. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Flesh wound. Flesh wound. Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah, you get the references. Let's see, what else do we have here? This must be copper. Oh, it's iron. I was going to say copper. Nuggets? Oh, members, can we get a nugget wall down below in the comments section? Man, oh man. All right, let's get back to the job at hand then. So I've done another playthrough of this as well, and I'd like to actually put these into a playlist so you can see the improvements that the developers have made over time. The lighting is gorgeous. The building system is fluid and easy to understand, and it's really just a nice way to build with different materials. You can build a house that's like 3/4 of the walls wood and 1 out of limestone, put a chimney in the back, make a long house, make it look like buildings from Viking times, take your inspirations from Valheim or other Viking-type city builders, and put them into this game. There's quite a bit to do, and not to mention there's a lot of jobs to do, too. So there are attacks that will come. You can build units. It looks like we can even build siege weapons on our own hand. We can also build defenses around to hide behind and, you know, like build a wall so we can do archery and have a big gate. And then, of course, it tells us all sorts of notices. There's lots of good, helpful information on screen, and that is just beyond helpful. Like, that's the greatest thing ever, to let you know that there's something wrong. Like, for example, here at the cooking area, we see that there's no allowed resources. And so, you know, we might not be able to make the meal, so we can allow all that type of thing. Rotten meat, you know, maybe we don't want rotten meat or smoked human meat, that type of thing. Yeah, we probably don't want those things there. And the types of fuel. Which, actually, let's take a look at those. Looks like sticks, wood, and coal will be the 3 types of fuel that we can make. So no charcoal or anything at the moment, but there might be that in smelting iron or something along those lines in the future. Oh man, all right, we've only scratched the surface here, but I just want to make everyone aware again of this game coming soon, and it's a game that I really want to get into when it's more complete so I can do a full series on this one. It just seems like a lot of fun, and it's nice to be able to build up a bunch of people, their skills, and then eventually bring a couple of good games together, as I mentioned before. Games like Foundation, Stronghold, and RimWorld, as well as some elements from like Prison Architect and a few other minor building games and other medieval games that really kind of share this type of style. Not hard to understand or learn, but definitely difficult to master over time, especially with those other modes. So if you're a pro, go ahead and you know, make sure you add this one to your wish list and start her on survival, and show everybody what you can do. Folks, I want to thank you for your time here today. I want to come back and go into more in-depth what we may have missed in just our short preview, but I am happy to see this game taking place in 1350 something or other, in this case 53, and I think it's great. They've done a good job of making a nice little building game with combat, and of course the ultimate thing, which we want to do, is build a giant town or a fortress and battle it out. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for all the support, and we'll catch you soon. Goodbye, everyone.